Hi everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. We're just about ready to go to the racetrack for the first time this year for practice day. All I got left to do is get the trailer and the truck squared away, and I'm going to show you all about that, but something has come up. Or I guess coming through more than coming up. Anyway, there's a nasty little thunderstorm that's just popped up to the northeast of us, and it's actually moving kind of backwards to the way they normally come from the northwest there and move from northwest to southeast. This one's coming out of the northeast and moving kitty corner to that. So the lightning alarms across the road at the golf course have been going off for the last half an hour or so. So we'll let this blow through, and then we'll see about getting the truck and the trailer out. In the meantime, while we wait, I'm going to give a shout out to my friend Daryl. He's been helping me out for a lot of years. He is officially licensed NASCAR dealer in Canada. So any of you looking for your NASCAR collectibles, hit him up. He's got every car you could imagine, even older ones from years past. He's got a pretty good stock of those. If you missed getting one from 10 years ago or something, give him a shout or hit up his website. He can probably help you out. Our storm has been and gone, so now we can get outside and get working. I got the trailer out. Like I said, it's in not race car mode. I've been hauling old tractors and stuff around on it, so it's all stripped down. What we're going to do now is just give the trailer a fast check. I'll show you how to do that, because the most important, or at least the first step in going racing, is actually making it to the racetrack. And we don't want our trailer breaking on the road, or the federales pulling you over because your trailer looks like a piece of junk and pulling it off the road, or whatever. We just want to make it to the racetrack, so let's make sure our stuff is good before we leave home. First thing we do is get it so the wheels are off the ground. Give them all a spin, make sure they spin nice and freely. Check your bearings, give them a shake. They should be good and tight with no play. That's nice. We'll check the tire pressure when we get it back over near the garage. Now what we're going to do is check our breakaway. It's hooked up to power. It should say yellow for charging. Good. And that'll be on anytime it's plugged in, but you can actually test the battery by pushing the test button, and you see they're fully charged. So we'll go back around. And pull the breakaway, and it should dynamite the brakes. On. On. Perfect. These breakaway switches, they get moisture in them, and it eats the insides of them, and they'll quit working. There, and we heard all the brakes release. Now we've got our trailer tester in, and we're going to go ahead and check all our lights. Parking lights. So I'll go around and check them. Now we'll light up the signals on both sides. They won't flash, but it'll show you that the bright elements in the lamps work. We'll put both of those on, and the backup lights. We're good there. Last, we'll throw the brakes on and make sure the brakes work that way. Perfect. So it looks like our trailer is good to go. and you'll hear them release. Perfect. Have a fast look underneath. Don't see no parts hanging off, anything like that. Okay, good. We can put it down now and start getting it ready to load the race car. So here's the box that we put on the trailer to put it back into race car mode. It's got all our stuff in it, all the stuff we need for a night of racing. Unfortunately, the poor little Kubota here can't lift it full. It's just too much weight for it. So in order to get it up on the trailer, I got to empty it. But that's okay. It only takes a few minutes. All right, so here we go. It's got 4 legs. They just drop down into these 4 pockets here, and a hitch pin goes through it. I'll be back once I've got it up. Here comes another one. I get the feeling it's going to be one of them days. Well, it's mostly stopped raining now. It's kind of down to a dull sprinkle. The sun's trying to come out in a few little spots. So we can start loading this thing up. I'll try and give you an overview of what I take to the track and why I take it to the track and what's maybe a good idea for you to take. You know, if you've got enough space. I got the back of my truck and that great big box. So I try to take what I need and be prepared for kind of anything, but not go like overboard. Like I don't have an engine in the back of my truck, you know. Basically, I try to be ready for anything that I could fix at the speedway. I mean, things move along pretty quickly, so there's only so many jobs you'd be able to do in time to be able to get back out there. Anyway, let's get started. We'll start at this end. These are pretty obvious. Rad, water, and fuel. I have to fill that up and fill that up on our way to the track. In between them, in there goes this little toolbox, and all that's in here is suspension bits and pieces, spring packers, spring rubbers, stuff like that, things we might need through the night. Up top here, here's our tire rack. So we keep 4 tires. They get held in by this pipe, and in behind it we've got a spare radiator, 2 lower control arms, and a pair of drive axles. Now we'll go in here. So here's our big rollout toolbox. I took a few things out of it when I was putting the box on the trailer to lighten it up a bit. So we'll put that stuff back in. Mostly my socket tray on the top. So what we've got in here is pretty much every tool possible that we would need to work on or repair this car at the racetrack. I have never not been able to fix anything there because I was missing something. So I guess we've got what we need. You never know what you'll have to fix over there. In fact, I'm like the leading lender of tools and parts and stuff over there because I just have so much stuff with me. Everybody knows if they're stuck, come see Kevin, and I'll help out anybody I can. So we can get this closed up and shoved back in and start filling up that little cubby hole there. So here's what we stash in here. We've got 2 axle stands. There'll usually be some bits and pieces floating around in here. We've got a spring packer, a couple of wheel spacers. This is our little air hose that we use. Down here we've got our aluminum jack. There's the handle for it. This whole piece of conduit is what we use to hold the hood up. And these are a couple of pry bars. This old pickle fork is great for pulling fender lips off of wheels. Over here under the toolbox, we've got 2 12 by 12 pieces of 1/2-inch plywood. They come in so handy. Sometimes you're at a different track or whatever. You got to jack the car up on grass or something. You can put these down, put your jack on it. You can put them down, put stands on it. They're just really handy. Here's our toe plates that we use for setting the toe on the front end. And this piece of hose, I can't even remember what the heck I use that for, but I know I need it sometimes because it's right there. So I'll put it right there, and when I need it, I'll remember what the heck I needed it for. Now we'll load up the chemical box. So we got this all loaded up. It's pretty straightforward. I got 2 gallons of tranny fluid, 2 gallons of motor oil, and then all my chemicals, you know, brake fluid. Always good to have a can of brake cleaner with you because you get a little oil leak or something. It's nice to be able to clean it up. Some sort of spray lube, it doesn't matter what it is. Sometimes coaxing a rubber into a spring or trying to get a hose back on or something, you know, things like that. I got a thing of hand cleaners, some paper towels, a car duster, a squeegee, very important because sometimes it rains, a chamois, and some microfiber cloths for wiping everything up. Oh, and Pledge Furniture Polish. Pledge Furniture works awesome on Lexan windows. Anyway, now we can get back into the top. Next in will be these 3 totes. This one I keep stocked up with every piece of hardware I could possibly ever imagine needing. Bolts, nuts, washers, little clips, hood hardware. It's amazing. You don't want any of these little things ruining your night. I mean, you could be put on the trailer because of some of this stuff. You know, so here's a little more of parts. You know, we've got some electrical parts. Here's another thing. If you're running a car with an electric fan, I always hook up my electric fan with Marettes. That way, if I get into a fracas and the rad gets broken and we have to change the radiator fast, you're not mucking around with connectors or trying to hook things up. It's just 2 of these. That I learned in my demo derby days. So we've got a few bits and pieces of electrical here. We've got all the sensors that are on the car spare. We've got some injectors, a couple of valve springs. Basically, you want to have anything that makes the car run, you want to have a spare one with you because you never know what can happen. This tote here is mostly full of hoses and belts, but in the bottom of it there are some hard parts. And I've got a couple of caps here and joiners so that if I busted an oil cooler or something, you could just cap it off. Or I think I even have a bypass hose that I made for it. Down in there, brake hoses, tie rod ends. Like I said, anything that makes the car run and drive, I got a spare one on me. Here's the next few things going in. This, it's just an old scissors jack from a car. I always keep one of those with me. I use it all the time, mostly for you get your quarter panel crushed in or something. You can get that down inside there and run it with a cordless gun, and you can push your quarter panel back out. We've done it many times. This here is just some old seat belts we've cut out of scrap cars. This stuff is really handy. It's good. You just tie something up. You know, the car gets wrecked bad and you need to tie the side of it back on to get it on the trailer or something. That stuff is good to have. This here is just the nuts and bolts that I use for bolting ballast weight into the car. I just keep that in here all the time. And then last but not least, always have a spare inspected fire extinguisher with you because you never know when. Something silly can happen. The power steering hose pops off and there's a little fire, and you got to use, when the track guys come running, they don't use their fire extinguishers. They grab the one out of the car and use it. And then you're done for the rest of the night if you haven't got another one. So I always have a spare inspected fire extinguisher with me. Next stuff goes in on this side. I've got a spare oil cooler. Now on both my cars, they use the exact same one for the engine oil and the transmission oil. So one does it all, and there's sets of fittings for either in the box. I carry this piece of sheet metal. I should probably put a new piece in. I've cut a piece out of it for somewhere along the line. This is just handy to have if you gotta make a mending plate for something, you know. I've got a pair of tin snips and a drill and rivet gun and all that stuff with me all the time. Never know what you might have to fix. This big box goes in next, and it's got more just hard parts in it. There's, you know, a throttle body, a computer, a fuel pump, an alternator, a starter, a couple of fuel rails, brake pads, front and rear, an oil filter, anything I possibly think I could ever need, I've got one in here. And this is just a little bin. I keep my driving shoes in. Yes, I drive with these Clodhopper work shoes on. A couple of last things we got to put away. We've got a broom. It just goes. It's held by a PTO clip there, and a sledgehammer. The broom is handy because sometimes you get a pit pad, but they're all full of gravel and stuff. You can sweep it out. And then the rest of the stuff we got to put in there. We've got a little air pig. These little trays. We use them for handing out lollipops on fan appreciation night. And it's also handy if you're taking something apart, you can put your bits and pieces in here. I think this is bungee cords, pens, and some hero cards. Oh, that's a set of padlocks because sometimes this thing gets left outside at night and I can lock all the compartments. And I guess that's about it. I'm going to get all this stuff packed in there, and then we'll head over to the shop and I'll show you what goes in the truck. Other stuff I like to bring is some tarps because it can start raining pretty suddenly and you want to be able to cover up the car and whatnot. I use these great big old brake pads from a truck or a bus or something just to hold the corners of the tarp down when it's on top of the car. A few other things that I should mention now that I've got them loaded. I've always got some stepped wooden blocks with me and a set of chocks for the truck and or the trailer. Another thing to think about, if your car has power steering, you probably have a little 15-inch steering wheel like I do. But sometimes, say you're in the feature and you throw a power steering belt and the caution comes out and you can run into the pits or something, keep a great big old 18-inch steering wheel. You can buy them off Dirt Guys. They like big steering wheels. And that'll really help you out if you lose your power steering. I've had to use it 1 or 2 times in the past and it made things a lot easier. Another thing I carry with me, hope I never need it, is a little mini spare that fits the car because nobody likes to get wrecked. And sometimes you get wrecked so bad. I've had it where this tire was smashed right up against the firewall, and we had to put that on it so the car would sort of roll so we could get it up the trailer. So good idea if you're driving these compact cars to keep a mini spare around just in case. Well, looks like round 3 for today is on the way. But anyway, we've got our trailer all buttoned up. We just got to run the car up it and strap it down. We're in the middle now. The normal camera person is putting our new straps together. I like to change the straps every 2 or 3 years. The old ones were getting a little ratty. They get frayed on the edge and stuff. So that's not good. So we build up 4 new ones. You just wait for them to come on sale for half price at Princess Auto. Never buy them full price. They're always on sale somewhere. So we got the car all tied down. Now we seem to be in a race with the weather. I want to get this thing back in the barn because my trailer is not exactly waterproof. And if you look up there, it's getting uglier by the second. So I'll just get this unhooked, get the truck the hell out of the way, and I'll scamper over and grab the Kubota. Well, round 3 has arrived. We got the race car put away just in time. Oh wow, is it ever coming down? It's kind of half rain and half hail. I'm glad I'm in here. Anyway, what we got to do now is we got the race car ready and we got the trailer ready. Now we got to get the truck ready. I don't know what I'm looking more forward to tomorrow, driving my race car or driving my truck. So I'll just give this a fast look over, check the fluids. I'll check the air pressures in the tires. We have to put a new license plate sticker on it. I'll make sure the ownership and insurance papers, all that crap is all up to date. And then we'll go from there. All right, well, that's about it. I guess we're pretty much ready to go. We got the truck packed up now. We got our compressor, our generator. I checked them both, made sure they're good to go. We've got our cordless tools, an air hose, the cordless Sawzall, which we hope we never need, but we have it in case we need it. We got a booster pack because the last year that we ran, I guess 2019 was when we run, most of a season. one night I come back and I forgot and left the fan running and went and had dinner or something. And when I come back, they were calling us for the heat race. The damn car wouldn't start. So we got a booster pack now. Up there in the front, I've got some extra straps for the trailer. You never know, what kind of a wreck you might have to strap down. Parts all hanging off it and stuff. They get pretty ugly sometimes. I've got a bunch of ballast there, just in case we need it. Sometimes some of my buddies need it, so I lend it to them. And that's about it. We're going to close her up, put the truck away, and hope it freaking stops raining by tomorrow. It's coming down pretty good again. That's round number 4 today. At least there's no thunder and lightning this time. Last time the house was shaking. Anyway, so that's it. I'm not sure if I'm going to make a video at the racetrack or not tomorrow. It depends how busy I am and if my camera person is around. Anyway, we'll worry about that when we get to it. But for now, looks like we're ready to go. And I'll catch you on the flip-flop. Thanks for tuning in, and so long.